Hey everyone, and welcome to this session of Workflow Wednesdays. Today, we're going to be showing you how we built the Wham challenge, the Whamageddon challenge itself for Christmas using journeys. So let's take a look at it. Well, to begin with, if you want to try out the game itself, you can just go to the URL at the bottom of this YouTube video. You can put in your first name, last name, phone, and email, and that's going to trigger off the journey for you in the Wham challenge for this year. Basically how that works is that you're supposed to avoid hearing the song Last Christmas for as long as you can before Christmas. And once you actually hear the song, you're supposed to fill out a form that you get sent with detailed rules after you fill it out. So what I'm going to do today is just walk you through how we actually built this and how it makes sense for a fun game this Christmas. So to begin with, let's take a look at how the journey itself looks like. The first step is to simply send a form to people that have signed up. The form actually looks like this. So it's going to say that it's the Last Christmas challenge. It kind of explains the rules, which is just to, try to avoid hearing the Wham's iconic holiday tune, Last Christmas, for as long as you can. Now, once you actually hear the song, you're supposed to let us know when you heard it, on what date, at what time, and just some fun text to explain what happened. And then if you want to get some notifications about next year's reminder. Again, this form and this game is just an example of what you can do to build with journeys, but a lot of employers often like to build this out and have some internal games. So we're just going to show you how this one will work. Now, this form, again, once you've signed up for the game, that you're going to get created as a traveler in this particular journey. And as a traveler going through the journey, you're going to get the information that the company name has just sent you a form, or in our case, it's 50 Skills. So 50 Skills just sent you a form. And it's going to say, hey, your name, welcome to the Last Christmas Challenge, as also known as the Whamageddon. And then there's just some text that we wrote here, but basically telling the person that if they hear the song Last Christmas, go to the link, and then you'll be taken to the form that we just showed you here. We also are sending people a text message. So if you sign up for this challenge, you're going to get a text, and it's going to send you very similar information that's just in the email, and you can go to the form link itself. The other thing that we're going to configure here are reminders. So basically, if someone hasn't filled this out, we're going to send a reminder 3 days after people sign up, and we're going to do it 3 times. So it's basically, it could be three more reminders just to check up on people if they've actually heard the song and remind them to put in some details. Now, this is just the first action. So everything I just showed you now is a single action. It sends out this email, sends out this text message, it sends out these reminders until people have actually heard the song. But once people fill it out with the details they have, the next step that's going to trigger is to send that information into an Airtable database. So as an example here, we just added an integration with Airtable, and we have a simple form there which basically collects information such as the name, email, phone, when they heard the song itself, what time, basically all the info that's there, as well as the option of adding a photo, and if they want to get some more info from us at a later point. So a very, very kind of nice way for an overview. And so basically, whenever someone fills out this form, all the details of that form are going to flow into the Airtable base that they used. And to decide what goes into each field, you can simply map up the tokens here. So in the name field, you want to use from the form itself. You want to make sure, from the person you added, you want to just use their full name. For the email, you can use the email they added, phone, etc. But in these fields, you're actually using information from the form they filled out. So at what time did they hear the Wham song? Just pick the form and pick the question at what time. And by doing this, you can start to map everything that was answered in 50 Skills, how you're going to map that into Airtable itself to get the results that I just showed you here. Okay, once form has been filled out, goes into Airtable, and then it's also going to send a text message, in this case to the person that filled out the form, the traveler, and it's going to tell them, congrats, your name, you just dropped out of the Last Christmas challenge on this date, and here you can see it's going to pick the date that they selected. At what date did you hear it? And just better luck next year. And then finally, once it's sent that out, it's going to actually post this to a channel that we have at 50 Skills. So we use Slack for communication. You might use Teams or a different tool. But in this case, it's actually going to send a Slack message and just say who heard the song, what happened, at what date, what time, that kind of stuff. And we've already had some pretty fun stories about that already. So, okay, so there's a couple of ways to get started with this one. Either people can go online, and anybody can go online. You can do it right now, viewing this video, and just add in your details, and you're part of this journey, and you're now officially part of the Whamageddon game for this year. But you can also add people manually by just clicking Add to Journey, search for the people you want to add, and then simply add the travelers that you already have in the system with a single click. And this can be very beneficial if you have like a list of all of your employees, you want to add all of them to the journeys that you've added. You can simply just click Add, and by doing that, you already have because they've already been in the system with a lot of attributes such as their name, email, phone, etc. You don't need to manually input any of that. You just click Add, and they're part of the journey, and the journey moves forward for them. Once you've added them, you can also take a look at how they've progressed. In this case, we're taking a look at Andre here. And what's happened for him is that he's obviously put in his info, so he started the journey, but he hasn't filled out the form itself. You can see here that an email was sent to him with these details and a form that he can fill out, but he hasn't sent the form out itself. So you can get an overview of how everybody's been progressing in the journey itself, and you can also decide what kind of details you want to see here. If you want to see their emails, phones, and other details, you can simply click and add those or take those away from the overview section here. So simple journey, but I hope you liked it. It's very simple. I suggest you try it for yourself with whatever type of game you have, and try the challenge yourself. And looking forward to see when you heard the song Last Christmas for this year. Merry Christmas.